Hi everybody, welcome to the Vise Squad. My name is Tiff. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at South Dakota Fly Girl. I'd love to see you guys over there. Today on this Vise Squad episode, I am going to be showing you all how to tie a Starlight Leech. Now this pattern is super effective for salmon and even steelhead. I tied up this pattern a few years ago, gave it to one of my friends, Jeremy, when we were in Alaska, and he actually caught his first steelhead on it. So I wanted to show you guys how to tie this pattern. Now this pattern can be tied just as a basic leech, or it can be tied to represent an egg-sucking leech, which is a super simple variation. It just simply is putting a hot spot on the front versus just doing, say, a wrap on the front that is adjacent to the colors that you're using. So we will go ahead and get started. This one I am going to be tying with a purple tail, a almost like white Estaz body, and then purple Schlappen. The fly is kind of bulky and again just not a very pretty fly, but is super effective. I've caught coho salmon, steelhead, sockeyes. So yeah, it's a super effective fly. So first thing we're going to start off is with our thread. Now you can use, I'm actually using 200 GSP just because I like the gel on it a little bit. It kind of grabs everything, but you can use like 210. And I'm using white, but you can use black or, whatever color, honestly, you've got around, because you're not going to see it anyway. So we are just going to start at the front, and I am using this is a size 2. I do sometimes tie these in a size 1. It just depends how big, how big you want it. So all right, we just are getting just some thread on here. And the first thing we're going to add to this is our Barbell Eyes. So this fly is pretty bulky, and it's meant to kind of drop down into like the holes that the fish are sitting in. So you definitely want to use a heavier eye. And so we're just going to do a few wraps, capture it. And we do want to leave a little bit of a space at the front because we are going to be making a head. I am going to be tying this one in a like an egg-sucking leech pattern. And just kind of work your eyes and make sure they are sitting straight. Just make some wraps. Okay, so then we're going to take this all the way to the back. It's not needed, but I kind of like to put like a base on. And then we're going to wrap to the front. And so the next thing we're going to put on is our tail. And so versus just starting it here, I like to start it up here and wrap it so it kind of gives a little bit of a bulk to the body. I usually try to do about, so the length of my hook and then the length of another hook length in the back. So we'll go ahead and capture this. And as you're tying it down the body, just kind of make sure you're keeping it towards the top. Like so. And we'll wrap, just kind of crank that down. And this is why I like to use a little bit thicker thread so that I can really crank on it. We're going to bring it back. And the next thing we're going to tie in is some crystal flash. And again, you can do this in a multitude of colors, whatever you want. I've tied this like in all purple. I've tied it in like ocean blue, olive, all pink. So I take about, I got about 4 threads here. And so I'm going to do it on this side for you. Just do it about the length of my tail. And so what I do is I just measure it out, capture those. It doesn't have to be perfect, but wrap it a few times. And then instead of having to tie, cut this off and retie, just simply flip these over and capture them. And then just cut. I do want to take a few moments while we're doing this and sincerely thank a company by the name of Anadromous, and I swear I'm probably keep pronouncing it wrong, fly company. They make some of the most awesome tying tools. This one being one of my favorites. These are the tungsten carbide. And as you saw, I mean, they cut like butter. I mean, I'm super impressed. I'm also in love with these bullet head bobbins. I actually have a few of them, as you can tell. Awesome products. You can get them in multitude of colors, and they offer about everything that honestly you're going to need. I'm going to do a review on these guys, and also be doing a giveaway here soon. So please look for that. Again, I'm just kind of wrapping the body to crank everything down. So the next thing we're going to do is actually make the body part. And I am using some Estaz. And again, you can do this in a multitude of colors, but I kind of like the purple accent in it. So yeah. So to tie this in, sometimes I'll just grab and pull some of those fibers off. And then we're going to capture it right here in the back. Crank down on that good, and then go right to the front. All right, and then as we're turning this, you want it to be, like I said, this is kind of a bulky fly, so you can kind of palmer it back as you're doing it, and make sure your turns are really like almost on top of each other. All right, so once we get to the front, a few wraps forward. My nose is itching today. Somebody must be thinking about me. Then I do pull this tag to the back, do a few tight wraps just to make sure everything is secure. Take my awesome scissors and snip that right off. And then just a few more wraps. All right, so next thing we're going to take is some Schlappen. Now, you can use saddle hackle, but what I like about Schlappen is it's almost like out of control, as you can tell. And that's what we want. We want kind of like that rough. Now, as you get further to the top, it gets a little bit more brittle. So I honestly work about in the middle. So I will look for a good tie-in point. Hopefully I didn't have that too high. So what I do, instead of cutting that piece off, I just literally lay it on there. It's so much easier to capture. Crank down a few times, pull it back, a couple more wraps so it doesn't go anywhere. Take your awesome scissors, cut it off. And so what I do is I kind of run my scissors along one edge to kind of break down the fibers a little bit so it will sit flat. If you lose some pieces, no big deal. So it just helps it to sit flat, and it came out. So we're just going to retie it in. You know, normally I would stop my videos and redo it, but you know what? We all have that happen sometimes. So might as well show you all that it's not just you that it happens to. All right, do over. Let's see if this doesn't hold. I don't know why it's not holding. Maybe I'm not being forceful enough. Okay. Now, if that goes anywhere, I don't know what to tell you guys. The joys of tying flies. I sometimes wonder how many takes people have to do to not have all their accidents. All right, so now we are going to start spinning this. You just want to kind of pull it back. And you're going. And, you know, it really depends on how funky you want your front to be here. This fly is just kicking my butt today, guys. And I think that's about good right now. Looks like a hot mess, but we'll get her looking okay here in a second. She looks like me in the morning. Okay, so let's go in and clip this off. And like I said, you know, I could have totally stopped the video and just redone it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that it happens to all of us. We have stuff that slips. I'm trying to not stab myself. So I'm going to capture some of these. And I do like to take this end here, because like I said, these guys are kind of squirrely. Alright. And so you could honestly leave it this way, or like wrap a purple head on here. But I wanted to show you guys how to make this pattern a egg-sucking leech pattern. So all you simply do is do a hot spot. So think about like what color eggs would be. So I'm actually going to probably pick like this peachy color, but I mean, depending on, you know, where you're fishing and you know the colors of your eggs around, you know, I mean, sometimes you might do this or maybe do like a really, like maybe like this color. But I'm going to go ahead and put a pink hot spot on this one. So all we do simply is wrap our thread with it. Some people will use like a Chanel on the front, but I kind of like doing it this way because then I can determine the bulkiness of it. And I kind of like the shine a little bit better. So we're going to pull everything back, make a couple wraps. And don't worry about these. Well, we can pop them out. Super simple. And so what I do is kind of build as I go. I don't over dub my stuff here. It's just easier to work with when you don't. And I do like it a little on the buggy side. And we'll actually go through and pick it out a little bit. And like I said, everybody has their own preference for these. I guess some people use just a Chanel and it's not as bright, but I like the brighter colors. You really gotta watch your you can see how it's doing on that side. Perfect. All right, so make a couple wraps on the front. You do some whip finishes and really just crank down on that. Vise is on me. All right, so you could take like a dubbing brush. I always worry about my feathers getting ripped out there. So what I do is I just take this tip and just kind of pull it out a little bit, kind of blend it in there with it. Like I said, these are a rather ugly fly, if you ask me, but but they are a super, super effective steelhead fly. and salmon flies. I think they just like the bulkiness and the kind of craziness of looking of it. So there you go, everybody. That is a version of a Starlight Leech. Like I said, you can probably find quite a few different versions. Like I said, a lot of people will use Chanel's on the head. Some people will use saddle hackle, and that's okay if you use saddle hackle. It doesn't flare as much. So when this is in the water, it doesn't bunch up as much. So you're kind of getting those movements in the water a little bit better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment with me. I am going to try to start getting into more like bass flies and maybe some northern and maybe some warm water species for you guys. So yeah, if there again is anything you would like to see or have me attempt to try to tie, please by all means go ahead and drop a comment. I'd like to thank you all for stopping by and watching today's fly tying segment with me. I hope you all enjoyed spending a little time. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas, so please again do drop them in the comment section below. Please give this video a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It would mean a lot to me. And don't forget to smash that reminder bell so you're one of the first to see when new content drops. If you're in the market for some gear, make sure to head on over to fishingandoutdoors.ca for my Canadian friends and fishingandoutdoors.net for my fellow US friends. I will be back to hang out with you guys and gals every Sunday with a new fly tying segment. But in the meantime, you can always check out my fellow fly tyer, Ryan, tying up some great fly patterns. I can't say it enough. He's an amazing tyer, amazing man. So by all means, please do check out some of his ties. If you guys are interested in being part of the Vise Squad, you can contact me either via my Instagram or Facebook, and I can get you over to the right people. You know, it's just a little fun thing to do, and just share our patterns amongst each other. You don't have to be a professional, obviously, as you can tell. I've only been tying for about 3 years, so don't feel intimidated, you know, if you're not the professional status. We're just here to have fun and help each other out. So I will see you all next week. Tight lines, my friends.